Hey friends, Titan is back on the menu more than ever this week in Destiny. It says so. Couple other things to mention: Nightfall focusing, a power band increase, which, by the way, I guess since I can't elaborate on this now, I don't personally like this, but there is some data somewhere that says they have these systems in place because other players mindlessly like to do this. It is soothing. It's what they want to clock out of work to do for whatever reason, and it increases the player population, which helps the rest of the systems in the game. So despite me not liking this, if it gets the result, I can't disagree. And I play this game a lot anyway, so it'll probably be done passively. There's a lot of pinnacle reward options and so forth. I hope it's not that bad. That's where I'm going to sit with this. I just hope it's not terrible. Normally it feels like chores. So in this article, I'm not going to read everything verbatim. There's just going to be highlights. Titan class identity reinforcement. Titans can pull aggro now by dropping barricade, bubble, etc. Well, maybe not bubble now, but in the future, they mention. So let's go down a little bit. It's called a taunt. You taunt enemies to pull aggro. If a high value target is trying to complete a mission, like a wyvern walking menacingly to defuse a bomb or something that your ghost is guarding, you can't taunt that enemy, but you can taunt a lot of the trash mobs. This is really, really cool that they finally, 10 years later, solidify the Titan role on the team a little bit more. Previously, it was just punch stuff, blow up the whole room. It's never really changed. Been the Synthesep playstyle since the very beginning of the game. Unbreakable got some changes, but I don't think this is going to take away from it that much in PvP. I think this is a very, very slept on ability. In fact, let me boot up a private match right now just to show you some of the tech that you can do with Unbreakable. So while that loads up, I'll read the other noteworthy things, which is Consecration can now break stasis crystals, which is really good for counterplay against triple behemoth, even though that got nerfed significantly. Diamond Lance now gives you 2 stacks of frost armor. I still don't know if they're going to fix that bug where you can slam down to the ground. Not sure. And then it shows you how many seconds are remaining on the lance, but just remember, grab the lance at around the 10-second mark after making it, and you'll be able to loop it. So that's just been my rule of thumb. This is a huge one here. I really want to put emphasis. Knockout melee. Knockout aspect. Melee kills now cancel health and shield stun in addition to healing, allowing you to immediately start regenerating. There's a term my friends and I use, which is called Titan magic. That means it is a 3v1 situation. You got the Titan weak, and he punches one of you. His punch teleports him through the network across time and space, and he lands a second melee. Now all his health is back, and he still has the knockout to continue raining havoc, and you just lose. You lose what should be a normal 3v1, get completely reversaled, and it's out of your control. Not a single one of you would be able to land a bullet, and now matters are worse because that Titan also gets full health. I play all the classes in the game, not that much bias. Okay, maybe a lot of bias towards liking primary weapons, but I think the melees in this game are out of control. They should not be getting buffed. Let's talk Unbreakable tech while I'm here. So you can hit the sprint button to do like a quick little third-person peek, and this is also good for like shotgunners around the corner. Cancel, and then just shoot them immediately with your shotgun. If you do the little shot, it'll take away your grenade, which isn't worth it. You want to sprint cancel and immediately start shooting. So it's like you put some damage in, you expect they're going to pull out the shotgun, short hop, and then cancel the shotgun blast into your primary, and you're able to react first. It's a cool little fighting game interaction. I love it. I also like the little amount of overshield that changes time to kills on certain weapons, and you'll start getting used to it as you play the game more. So those changes, I think, are going to make it more of an option, but unfortunately, it's an opportunity cost. If you're playing to win, there is no reason you will not always run Diamond Lance and Knockout, since Knockout can create Diamond Lances, and both, for whatever reason, got buffed. Spirit of the Bear is also extremely good. I think it should recharge its own grenade more than Super. The Super was going too far. Shiver Strike. This is another big one. Now attaches... let's just read the important part. Immediately after landing a Shiver Strike attack, the attacker's melee ability is now suppressed for 5 seconds, or for half a second. So what that means is, let's say this is the opponent. When you fly at them, you cannot immediately melee. You gotta wait half a second, and I think that'll make a big difference, except for the fact that they said they were doing that with shoulder charge and lightning surge, etc. There are windows with all of those where you can slide at the very tail end of it, then use your gun, then activate your ability melee. So I wonder if there's going to be some oversight in how quickly you can connect that. One of them being like the Fighting Lion ghost cancel, where you double tap your ghost to override that lockout. I wonder, right? I wonder. And with all the macros players make that they don't seem to get banned for, thank you for that, Bungie. A little worried about it, that it won't effectively do anything on Skill Island. I always have to scroll down. It like auto goes to the top, but let's keep reading. The Behemoth melee attaches a stasis explosive to the target on impact that slows and freezes combatants. Slows players, freezes combatants. It now refunds 80% melee energy on a whiff. And if you do the math with 100 strength, it's going to be effectively a 13-second cooldown for whiffing, and that's assuming they didn't kill you while you were dodging. I feel like that's going to be the downtime. And if we look real quick at D2 Armor Picker, we can see what these cooldowns usually are. 57 seconds. So if you see somebody Shiver Strike away and you happen to pick up the kill, the soonest they have it back is probably 50 seconds. That's significantly different than Icarus Dash. I'm actually kind of excited for this change because Titans finally have something that is on the same level as Solar Warlock for specifically enhancing my gunplay. I know that you could fly at them and pick up the kill and Diamond Lance and do all that bullshit, but what I'm talking about is when I play DMT, I love Shiver Strike for being very non-committal for playing verticality. Like, oh no, 3 people roll up, just Shiver Strike away. I'm less adept at that on controller, so I actually prefer the other melee on controller, but on M&K, Shiver Strike is locked in. Titans got our Icarus Dash. They got the Twilight Garrison in a different way. I think I went past it now. Okay, here we go. Facet of Command. That's the one that reloads and gives you juiced gun aim assist ability for freezing a target. That is fantastic. Although I wasn't reprocking it every 11 seconds, so this effectively makes no difference in PvP. Another big one. For whatever reason, the Titan unpowered melee has an increase in damage by 5%. That doesn't sound like a lot. Perhaps there will be an interaction where that matters. I understand they want to differentiate Titan from Warlock and Hunter and so forth, but I think the melees in this game are out of control. What this might mean is you proc knockout on a double melee against 10 resilience. This might change the damage combo of shooting someone in the head with a precision instrument gun and immediately meleeing for a kill or something like that. Little things, but it's just the direction. We're slippery sloping towards double melee over gun skill, which I don't like. If anything, I think there should be more of a lockout to just regular melees. I think it should be triple melee too, unless you're running a melee specific build. I just want gunplay to shine more, and it seems like this replaces gunplay. I don't know what Bungie's in-house ideal ratio of weapon to ability to teamwork, etc. ratio is, but I just don't like where it is right now. And I don't think this is moving it in the right direction. Next up, they make supers better in PvE. That's fine. Howl of the Storm can be used while Glacial Quake is active, which I don't know makes that big of a difference, but I'll take it. That's free crystals. Maybe you can combo it a little bit better against the Hunter Triple Thunder Crash super, which, by the way, didn't say that it was being nerfed. See, Golden Gun Spec Blades, there is no mention of Storm's Edge. That super is crazy. Next question mark was, for Stormcallers and Prismatic Warlocks, we want to increase the usability of Lightning Surge, as if it wasn't being used enough, right? I think this is a PvE change, to be clear. When you cast Lightning Surge, you are now amplified. And then it has a 50% damage resistance versus Titan Barricades during the lunge. I kind of like this interaction. They're cooking with this one. I like that counterplay with the Titan Barricade. Anything to help with that, with how powerful the Titan Barricade is. I think the word they wanted to put here was not usability, utility. Once again, in the same ballpark of the behemoth melee being very stupid, the double melee network lunge, the short stops, Lightning Surge is in that camp too. It's a really stupid ability to deal with, and the only way I have any sort of confidence dealing with this is if I play Dawnblade or Lion Rampant. Other than that, it's like rolling the dice on whether or not you're going to come out on top. When I play Warlock, I personally avoid this ability because I like Penumbral Blast better, because it cancels more of the bullshit, but is what it is. We'll see how it goes before I comment any further. Hunter Prismatic Grenade was buffed, which I think would help. I completely write off Hunter Prismatic, by the way. I don't even care if I proc it once during a game. I just value the grapple too much. I wish there was a way to disable Prismatic pop, like pop it to get your smoke back and then immediately go back to the grapple. Something like that. Next up, we should be able to shoot Swarm Grenade submunitions, which I guess I can rant. That's why I'm uploading the video. Swarm Grenade never should have got buffed in the first place. Swarm Grenade was a great tool to be a medium grenade for all situations that wasn't great at anything, but wasn't terrible at anything, that had the niche of dealing with invis players. I guess it still can do that, but we tried to recreate the wheel here. We could have just left it alone from the very, very, very beginning. Combo Blow, PvE nerf, and I'm sure you've heard Acid Cross and Dado read the same article. I think that's it. So this is my Titan DMT build. I'll feature a couple clips, maybe half a gameplay or something like that here. I use Lion Rampant to float with Dead Man's Tail. Now we have the in-flight compensators. I do go for 1 kinetic targeting, and this brings me, with steady rounds, to I believe 99 airborne effectiveness after I get the Diamond Lance going with Faceted Command. Gives me that 100 AE, higher aim assist, and it seems to connect shots very easily. I typically go Glacier Grenade so I can climb up very high on angles, Gargoyle, Pigeon, whatever you want to call it, and sort of have a mobile aerial command post. This is the worst map in the game for me to be doing this, by the way, because there's an invisible ceiling preventing me from playing with verticality. It's always been a gripe of mine in this game. But with Lion Rampant, let me go outside already. This just isn't going to work. With Lion Rampant, you can use your verticality, put your shot in, sort of fade back to your crystals, and do it again. It makes the enemy always have to look up. You can always use your Shiver Strike to get it. Another thing you can do is create head glitches, where the opponent rolls around the corner expecting you to be head level, and on their screen they can only see your forehead. So Glacier Grenade, really good. That stupid Arc Super Hunter one, the Storm's Edge, they fly at you. Glacier Grenade can launch you, as well as basically nulling the super. Sometimes it just turns off completely, like it's suppressed. So that's a good start to put a lot of damage on the Hunter. That's why I go that grenade. On certain maps where Glacier just doesn't make any sense, I go Shackle. Another obvious use of Glacier is I'm on Thruster. I don't have a barricade. So if I want to peek this without getting sniped, put my Glacier down, and now I own this part of the map. Very nice. And I still get to keep my Glacier, so when I slide, oh no, a shotgunner. And then I dodge the shotgun, then I go back in with Shiver Strike, collect my Diamond Lance, and loop it. Despite that all sounding like great for movement and whatnot, it's also like paired with ability spam, so it kind of replaces my guns, not enhances my guns. So I really have not been enjoying Titan lately for that reason. To try to stick more to guns, I put away a shotgun. I don't have Cryoclasm anymore. I don't like the change to Cryoclasm, so I go a grenade launcher. It's the idea of float, put a shot or two in, and they back down naturally because they weren't looking up to pre-fire you. And if they run away too far, I bounce a grenade off that wall and grenade hits them. I win the engagement. And I can still deal with the shotgunner. Like, I can trade point blank or jiggle a shot in, bounce a grenade launcher off the wall to hit him or something like that. Like, I think grenade launcher is the higher skill ceiling, despite probably being the more broken weapon. But Destiny's at a point where I'm done with the gentleman's agreement on that. I'm just going to use Fighting Lion, and I'm just going to use tubes now. They're too good not to. They cancel too much of the annoying stuff, even though they're annoying themselves. Okay, next up. What else on this build? Radiant in case I need it. I can always turn that off based on the weapon setup I choose. But I do like it with DMT, especially for comboing knockout melees. I think that's really it. I will switch to a barricade on certain maps or certain team compositions. This super is pretty much locked in, and I'm gonna have a bone to pick with this one too. At somewhere in the 12, they said Twilight Arsenal. Let's see. Thrown axe projectiles consistently track towards targets closer to the reticle. Normally that's a good thing, but if you play mouse and keyboard and you are very, very precise with your tosses, you see how I'm trying to throw it at what would be the fortress power ammo? Instead, if there was an enemy near that, my axe would go right here. That's where it would hit. I hate that in Destiny so much. Just let me aim the projectile. I don't need the assistance. Doing this on stream live, so I want to make sure I cross my T's, dot my I's. Catapult jump, strafe flip, both have their pros and cons. Titan Transcendence is the best. You should try to build into that. Kinetic weapons are great. Fast discharging super, so I don't even want to use these others. And if I did, it would be for Facet of Purpose. Pick up an Overshield. But I also think the Void Overshield is better than the Frost Armor. The Diamond Lance Frost Armor might make a difference with some interactions, but I don't think it will with all the target lock, kinetic tremors, precision instruments, radiant going around. I don't even think you'll notice it, especially now that Titan got a 5% increase in melee. So they're supplying the ability to maybe survive a double melee, and also having the damage output to double melee. So we might see a Titan meta shift sooner than later, even though Hunter meta hasn't really been changed at all. Overall, I don't know if this moved the needle forward to a healthier Sandbox is all I'm going to say, but there are some cool changes in PvE, like Titan becoming more of a tank, calling aggro, taunting. I think that's awesome, and I'm excited to see what more they do in the future. You might also see some clips featuring Last Word and Hush. I like this setup a lot for Lion Rampant. The only thing I gotta complain about is Last Word handling is too slow. Really just using this because this is a fun setup. Maybe Osteostriga makes more sense with this. Or maybe a special weapon like Heritage. Or another grenade launcher. Maybe that makes more sense than Last Word. But this is my most used weapon, one of my most enjoyable primaries to use. And even if I go 1 in 30 in the match, if that one duel I had was good, well, makes me use Last Word that much more. Alright, I think I've talked too much here. Hope you have a good rest of your commute to work or finish those dishes or whatever you're doing. Enjoy the clips. Enjoy the gameplay. See you in the next. Oh yes, we got the firing squad in the air. I knocked him like in the next week. Well, that wasn't pretty, but it got the job done. Unfortunately, that wouldn't have done anything. You would have just immediately cast the next one.
Move together, stand apart.
I want that overshield. Is that a player? I was gonna say, I definitely saw a clone. Oh no, I'm on a streak. Head glitching the cover with Lion Rampant. Love to see it. I have no idea what the hell I just did there. I just said, like, Titan, take the wheel. No way, it slowed him. Choked the shots there, but it didn't matter. He choked too. Focus more on the movement than the aim. Big mistake. Very nice, Dub. They can see me from their spawn in a sec. I can probably bank this off the ceiling. And this is getting buffed.
No guardian stands alone. Look out.
Wasn't the cleanest shooting, but like the positioning, right? Like using the sides of the map as cover, the out of bounds, the fall to your death area. Pretty good.